I am manager of the collections training program here at the firm that entails the whole program of what our collection staff learns, as well as the call quality piece of it. So we look at what we train and we evaluate that using the speech analytics now. We had a solid program with manual call monitoring, but it didn't allow us to make the deep dive, go more in depth, access the level of detail that we needed to and the capacity that we needed to be able to monitor and evaluate 100% of our calls. Having speech analytics allowed us to look at trends, increase training speed, and do an overall comparison of how well our training was effective. We started with a small client first. We needed to meet a demand to evaluate a larger percentage of calls than we could manually get to. And we started first with that set of accounts and just evaluating those, looking at the client requirements. The process was simple. We used FTP to submit the information over to Provana. And then once the information was submitted, we submit the criteria, what we're looking to evaluate, and then calibrate on those particular items. So once the information was programmed, the delivery of the information was discussed. So what type of format do we need to receive that in, and what is the layout? And so we decided that we just needed a simple report for that client, and it worked in the fashion that we would deliver the recordings and the metadata that was associated. And based on that metadata and the recordings, then the speech analytics could be programmed to evaluate those components that we needed, and then turning that around into a report that then could be delivered from us to our client. That was successful, and we branched off into 100% of our call center being evaluated using the speech analytics platform. It's not a long time process. I think if you have your information and it's ready, it doesn't take long at all. I would give probably approximation of a couple of weeks to change something and evaluate it, and then make sure that it's what you want. We definitely represent a number of clients who have differing criteria, and being able to make one scorecard and necessarily several scorecards if you needed to is a plus. So each time there's a necessary need for a different scripting or a different type of evaluation, it is definitely customizable. We were able to, take client A and have that evaluated along with client B might want something different. So we're looking at different aspects when evaluating those. The way that we set up our platform, our scorecard can work for each. We might just be evaluating different components with a different client. But having a change happen is rather quick. It depends on the volume of the change, whereas that couple of weeks could go down to a couple of days, just depending on how big the change is. I definitely work with the Provana team on a regular basis. We have weekly meetings. We talk through different items and different projects. So just to give a little color and context, there's always something new in this industry and in this space. And right now, everyone's dealing with Regulation F. So as we look at the different regulations, of course, changes are necessary. So we've been working on the changes with them. But to anything that needs to be programmed or set up, that has also been a good thing to be able to work with the Provana team from setup to continuing every day. There was never a lack in the customer service that was offered to us. So being able to work with the team and give them our specs and to constantly calibrate as necessary is a plus. You're not stuck to figure it out on your own, or even try to come up with solutions for a problem that you're trying to solve or something new that you're trying to implement. Primarily, our agents are drawn to the system from information from their own management. So management might be reviewing with them or letting them know that there's an opportunity, or might even be giving them kudos to say you did well with this. We use it in a couple of fashions. One, we use it to show, that somebody is doing well. We pair maybe a newer employee to listen or look at the handlings of that person, and they can do that right from the system and see for themselves that this was scored well and scored high, and take from that person the cues that they received after evaluating that person's performance. But also for the individual who is actually receiving coaching or being trained for an opportunity for themselves, they can then look at it too, and it gives them a clear picture. It's no longer, it removes the opinion of, maybe somebody else. If you're manually evaluating, it removes that and allows the agent to see, this is how I fared, this is where my opportunities are, and this is where my strengths are.